Thank you, Black Car, for sharing. Please, 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 tapote, tapote, tapote. And we will get going. So let's get this. So obviously, hold on, let me get this done. So, welcome to my life for those that are tuning in for the first time. My name is Angelique. I am an activist on child abuse and mental health and domestic violence. Of course, to be an activist, it means also I've been a survivor of it. I've experienced it, I've lived through it, I've survived it, and now I am here. So I spend my days, my weeks, and I always come onto live to talk about, domestic violence or the consequences of child abuse or mental health, because not only is this something that I live on every day, I have to work and battle for it, but these are things that literally is real life. So obviously in 2 minutes it's going to be 9, because we did say we're going to start at 9. So before even I start, I know some people wrote to me. It was like, there's so many things that people have written to me. I thank you so much. What is it? No, inside. Time for bed. Thank you. It's like kids want to try me at this time. So please, please like, share. And we will be starting very soon. So thank you for everybody that has written to me about in regards to the subject that I put yesterday of the games of Mama and Papa. I had a couple of people that wrote to me, and I thank God that I'm now getting adults coming forward to speak to me and also asking for support and help. It's fantastic, and I love this because, to see papas and mamas trying to change and better their life is what we want, to have, so that the children can benefit from it and we can all just grow. So obviously mama and papa, or mother and father game, is one game that children used to play, especially a lot of us have played when we were young. But however, through that game it has brought a lot of sexual assault, that people were not even aware that they are actually committing sexual assault, or even it's being done to them. It's also a set of grooming where a lot of predators, or pedophilia users, enable to complete their sexual desire onto the child. And then children, because parents were not really aware of all of this, children then practice all these behavior with their siblings or those that near them. However, I will continue that subject hopefully this week that we're entering into. But today I wanted to talk about domestic violence. This is a subject that I believe a lot of people try to avoid due to the fact that of the trauma that they've experienced. A lot of people have question on it. A lot of people still wonder, like, is someone faking it? What does it mean to really go through domestic violence? Is domestic violence real? Are people just making it? Girls are being so sassy? Or is this? People have so many, there's a lot of like stigma around domestic violence. But today I wanted to talk about domestic violence in the aspect of victim blaming and victim shaming. Because when we first look at domestic violence, for those that don't know, domestic violence comes in different form. It comes in physical abuse, emotional and psychological abuse. It comes in coercive control, which is a new one that, is come into, into the term now, because coercive, it means somebody manipulating, is another form of manipulation where a person get to literally get you, swerve you in, hold you in, and able to do whatever they want. And coercive control is one of the most popular that's happening that's happening today. I've been a victim of it. Trust me, it's not a fun thing, because you won't even realize that you're actually being coerced into doing the person actually taking advantage of you. There's sexual abuse, and there's also financial abuse. Thank you, LK. Thank you everybody. Please like and share. We need to get as much, and you don't know who you're helping. So I'm speaking to all of our hi. Thank you everyone on YouTube. Thank you for watching. I'm talking to all the people who, especially the Black African Caucasian congregation. When it comes to domestic violence has now become something that's a term that's being used, that a lot of people are holding on, like nowadays they a bit hanging on to it, But when it came to our culture, a lot of people didn't really understand what was domestic violence. A lot of the time, domestic violence was just a word that people were using in able to run away from marriage, or a lot of mothers would say to ladies who run away from being domestic violent in domestic violent relationship, they will say, you're being too lazy. We've all been through it. Why are you not accepting? Marriage is like this. In Lingala, they will say, Libale zala kaka bongo. This is how marriage is. Hi te hi. They will say, Libale zala kaka bongo. This is how marriage is. You want a marriage. Marriage has its consequences, and this is what marriage is about. But is that really true? A lot of us, as we sit here today, some of us are even victim or have witnessed domestic violence within our own home, within our parents. And one thing I ask, a lot of people never wonder, what happens to the children? Because the children are the silent victim when witnessing domestic violence. In a lot of African homes, domestic violence, especially if you come from Africa, men were allowed to put their hand on women. Men were allowed to hit women. Hi, Madison. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for the YouTube. Thank you for all those that are liking and sharing. And thank you here for those that are also on TikTok Live, are also liking and sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once again, if you're first time in my channel, my name is Angelique. I'm an activist on domestic violence, also on child abuse, as I've survived it myself, and I raise awareness on the consequences of it as a child, for a child, and also for an adult. Now, before we can go deep into domestic violence, we need to remember, where do we come from? A lot of African, where we come from, it was nothing wrong for a man to lay his hand on a woman. It was nothing wrong for a man to even bruise his woman, because it was set to be like, the man has already paid the bride price, so you have no right to really speak. The man is disciplining you. And a lot of people thought, because of culture, how, hi Zion, they always thought, because the man has paid your bride price and your father has given that man authority over you, now you are the man's responsibility. And a lot of mothers, especially in Africa, is due to the fact that the man was the breadwinners. So the mothers will rely on this man in able to survive, to live, and also to just exist. Now, a lot of the time people didn't understand exactly how deep, how intense was this domestic violence. A lot of the time people were thinking it's nothing. All the time, whenever somebody's gay, a woman is being slapped or seen with a black eye, it was the question that they will ask the woman is not, how are you? The first question they will ask the woman is, what did you do for that man to hit you? What did you say? And a lot of the time, even as young ladies, even before we go into, hi, Freddie. Is it by force? Okay, hi, Freddie. A lot of the time, the woman, even in a culture, they would tell us, every time even a woman voiced up to talk about the way she was being treated, even if she was abused physically, emotionally, financially, they always ask the woman, what did you do to trigger this man for him to behave the way that he did? What did you say to him for him to get so angry? But never, even after the question, the thing that makes me afraid more is, even after the question, there's not an aftercare that showed the victim or the person in question a care, a sense of your feelings are acknowledged, your emotions are acknowledged, and you are a person. The level of gaslighting a victim will get for being a victim of domestic violence is so extreme, to the point that even today as we speak, there are women who are dying. Now, before I go any further, I would like, hi Auntie Ali, Almanto, how are you? So let me show you, statistics shows us, let me tell you, there are about 3.8 million adults that are experiencing domestic violence in the previous year. And we're talking about in ending of 2025. I'm talking about UK. So that's 3.8 million. That's not just women, it's men and women. 2.2 million, it was women. Remember these numbers. 2.2 million was woman, and that's just the ending of 2025. and 1.5 million was men. And when we look into around 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have experienced domestic abuse since the age of 16. Do you hear this? Since the age of 16. So when we look at domestic violence, of course, I've taken it from, the aspect of marriage. We will experience 1 in 4. Do you know, Auntie Ali, if I tell you in a week, let me tell you, it says here, statistics, it says, let me read it. Hold on, where was it? Between 124 and 124 and 168 women are killed by men in the UK each year. Let me break that down for you guys to understand. That's between 100 and that's between 100. If it's 124 per year, that means around 2 to 4 women each week are being unalived by their partner in the UK. If it's 168, that is 3.2 women each week. So as we speak right now, there might be a woman who's literally being unalived by their partner right now. That's per week. Please, guys, tapute and send it. And that's 1 to 2 every week are killed by current former partner in the UK. And that's the one that are even reported. Let's not talk about those that are not reported. When we look at this, it shows us that, one, there are a lot of people who don't understand what domestic violence is. And there's a lot of people going into marriages or into a relationship and they're not understanding what is domestic violence. Yes, a lot of these crimes are unreported. I'm starting an online coffee morning in August for Congolese women. Oh, Auntie Ali, you know me, your daughter, I'm here. I will promote it full time. Full time. When we look at this, first of all, we need to understand a lot of people, the reason why there's a lot of women who are falling victim into this domestic violence is because a lot of people are not well educated on these abusers. When I speak about these abusers, I'm talking about narcissistic behavior, NPD. When I talk about this, it's about these sorts of mentality where women are not even aware of the danger that they're going into, let alone understanding, having self-awareness of themselves. Now, I've heard a lot of men say, how can you, of a woman, fall with a guy like that? That means you should have seen it. You should have known the sign. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of narcissistic men. And I'm talking to all my ladies, to all my sisters. There are a lot of narcissistic men who have been brought up in a household where domestic violence was something that it was there. For a man to get so angry, to go through all of this, they themselves have experienced some sort of abuse, to get to the point that they become abusers to not only their partners, but to their mothers. I met a guy recently who grew up in a household where his father was very vicious to the point that everybody in the community knew about it. And now this guy has become a pro in manipulation and emotionally abusing women and getting away with it because a lot of women are not even aware that they're being abused. They're not even aware that they're actually with abusers. A lot of people ask, but he's so nice to me. He's never shown me signs of being abused. He's never shown me signs. He's been so sweet. He's the pillar of the community. People need to understand a lot of these abusers are not people that is unknown to you. These are people who are proper there, masking it. Thank you, Auntie Alima. They know how to mask it. To you, of course, they're going to be the best person. But to another person, they're actually being their beast. Guys, share, tapote. The devil's a liar. Today, somebody's going to be freed. Listen, I've never met, trust me, this guy's level of manipulation has literally amazed me. But he was raised in a household where his mother was domestically, when I mean domestically violated. And today, the product of domestic violence, now he has become now the walking, living machine, which takes advantage of women, which plays with the mental health of women, and he targets women who are more vulnerable. A lot of these men are people who know manipulation, and they pick women who are vulnerable. Now, vulnerability, what do you call it? Vulnerability does not mean that you are weak or you are non-acceptable, but it means that you are vulnerable. You have something. When it's vulnerable, it means it has to be something on donne ce qu'on reçoit 100%. Vulnerability means that you are someone who vulnerable, something that's vulnerable. It means something that needs to be taken with care and delicacy. But I want you to, please, Alba, this is not a funny thing. You guys are thinking it's a joke. Alba, this is not the time for our little jokes. But these guys, they pick on women who they can see do not have any sort of protection. Never had a father figure. It's okay. They never had that protection, that love. They know, they sniff. Remember, these abusers, some of them, a lot of them were abused. So they know the feeling. You don't get on 100%. 100%. These abusers, they know how to feel vulnerable. They know what and how to pick who is a person who has been abused. They know, they can tell, they can hear. And let me tell you something, before they come into your life, and I tell you this now, they literally spend time on researching about you. They spend time on understanding where you come from, your background. Guys, if you want to come up as well. We're going to have this discussion together. It's not just about me. It's all about us speaking and communicating together. So these men take time to literally observe you. They take time to analyze you. They take time to understand your weak point. So when you're coming, you're thinking this man is getting to know you. No, he already read you like nothing. He already went through your friends. He already read where you come from. And especially, and this is why I hammer on people who has been victim of child abuse. Please, please, please. We are actually their target. We are their target. Because they know a person who's been abused, a person who's been, who's been rejected, they look to be accepted. They look to be wanted. They look to be valued. They look to be wanted, somebody that they can have. They know this. So as you who is maybe naive, you're not noticing, you're just finding someone who loves you because they love bomb you first. They love bomb you. They come to give you what you are missing, what you want the most. That's why be careful on what you want. Give yourself what you want before anybody else can give it to you. Because when somebody else is given to you and now it becomes manipulation, you will know how to actually withdraw yourself. A lot of our mothers today that were speaking, today are a lot of our mothers, especially in the Congolese community, you will see a lot of the mothers, they're suffering with mental health, depression. A lot of our mothers are now on antidepressant, a lot of them, and even us as the young generation, we are today on antidepressant. A lot of us are suffering mentally. And if you check a lot, it's because of relationship. Let me start with first. Let me get it first. Let's get with the victim blaming. Because, yeah, LK, do you have something to say? LK?
Yes, I do. I'll let you speak. Just give me about 3 minutes, and
okay.
I will come back. Thank you.
All right, no problem. So, when it comes to victim blaming, the first thing, a lot of women who left, now we have technology facilitated abuse. Oof. Auntie Ali, I love it when you come up. Oof. Auntie Ali. Hi, Auntie Ali.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm
You
good.
know,
I'm good.
you're in my territory, so I'm very happy.
Woo! Please,
And I'm
Auntie.
glad you're covering the story and you're covering this because, as you know, we have been trying.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad now you, our children, are seeing what we have gone through and what I've been advocating for what? How old are you now? I would say 35, 36 years.
Wow.
Domestic abuse. So,
Wow.
it's important, and I like the format you're using because sometimes when we used to talk about these issues, we were almost like blaming our women and our girls.
Mm-hmm.
But like you say, it's what I call it's institutional.
Yeah.
It's endemic. It's in our DNA, literally.
Mm-hmm.
It's where we come from. It's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
And so to move away from that, we really need to educate,
Yeah.
raise awareness, but also provide what I call tips. Because many times, if all you know is this and you know nothing else, what are you looking for? If everything you've seen around you is perpetuated violence in the sense that the community allow women to accept that as the norm, to say, oh, if your husband smacks you, that is fine. That
Uh-huh.
means
It
he
says
loves you.
he's
Or you'd
disciplining
even
you.
see women who fight other women for abuse that they've been through, i.e., like a betrayal or somebody cheating on them, rather than take the actions against the person who has hurt them. So over the years, we've campaigned to have domestic abuse now on top of the agenda, to a point where it's now what I would deem in the UK, we deem domestic abuse as a public health issue.
Yep.
And the reason why, just by coincidence, because I wanted to either start in September, give when the children have gone back to school, the summer is finished, we can start online using Teams, and then maybe move gradually in. It's whatever would make the community comfortable. But they have to access. This is no longer that where only you need to have money, because what we're seeing, it's the amount of trauma, generational trauma, as a result of domestic violence and domestic abuse that is now endemic in our community, that is now starting on our young daughters, your age, your
Ours one
generation.
is worse, Mama.
We, the mothers, have been subjected through this. We've accepted it, we've normalized it. Without us even knowing, we've passed it down.
And our
Our sons
generation.
have not done anything better than their fathers, and our daughters have been tolerating this kind of behavior without realizing it's not good for us. Not good for the women, not good for the men, and most definitely not good for the children. So there are various types of violence that happens. Obviously, we talk about intimate partner violence, which is obviously domestic abuse.
Yeah.
But like you say, the statistics, and when you couple that with our race, our socio-economic status in our society, a lot of people are on benefits, they're not working, and then couple that with what I call social norms or things that would impede us, poverty, ill health, like mental illness,
Yeah.
not speaking English as a first language, not being educated.
Or even
And
aware
so
of
when
your
you start
rights.
to put that
Oh,
together,
didn't I?
it's almost like people are up against the wall and cannot see no way out. And so what we're trying to do now that we understand, because up until 2021, we campaigned with the government to recognize the experience of children. Because before, as advocate, I'm an IDFA. As a domestic advocate, what we used to do in the past was just look at the victims or the survivors and just take their experience. But we know domestic abuse, even when a child is in the other room, they can hear exactly what is going on.
They're
They hear
called
the screams, they hear the bottle falling down,
victim.
they hear the tumbling down of mommy down the stairs, they hear father banging on the door, they hear the sound, they smell, they feel the taste, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So children experience a lot.
Can you hear
And
me?
when you look at that, when it's not addressed, it.
Can you hear me
Shall I
now?
continue? Yeah, I can.
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, I can.
Yeah.
And so when it's not addressed, it then leads to other issues. And now we've seen behavior of children in school we now can actually put a link between domestic abuse at home and children's education, and even in some cases, children's development, health development.
But
we can actually link these together.
But Auntie Ali,
so what we're saying as advocate, we really want men and women, if you know you're a man and you have this tendency to abuse or to react in a way that will harm other people, please seek help. And it's not judging you, because we know if that's all you've known in life, because again, I want to look at it from a trauma-informed space. And a lot of local authorities now offer offender programs. So if you're an offender, like a charity called, what's it called now? Restorative Justice for All. They offer, programs that would support people who have accepted that they've offended and they are willing to change their behavior by going through a program. And that program is not sort of like intensive, but it offers that individual a structure from dealing with your anger. How do you react when you're in a sort of a tight spot?
Auntie Ali,
what you should say. So I'm really proud that you're talking about this. Obviously, I'm going to be in the background and I'll let you continue.
Auntie Ali,
in case anybody has any questions, I'm happy to.
I have a question. A question. You know how you said, like, you as mothers, you have, survived it, you've gone through it. I just wanted to, before even that, that with our generation is much more worse.
I know it is.
In our generation, I'm telling you, especially coercive control.
Coercive control,
it's become something that is very brutal, and even children as young as 15.
Of course.
14.
Because we have this thing where, I would say we, because I'm referring to the Congolese community. I was married to one, so I know. So coercive control is something that is very persistent. It happens regularly, and it's what I call insidious. It's almost like someone can lose their mind without even somebody touching them. I'll give you an example of when I do my coercive control training and coercive control behavior in a relationship. So there was this man. I'll give an example. This is not a real story, but for people to understand how insidious coercive control is. There's this man. His name is Pierre. He has his wife he brought from Congo. They live in a house. They have 2 children. Every morning before Pierre goes to work, he's a security guard. He locks the front door and he tells his wife, I'll come in the afternoon to just come and check, but I'm closing the door. You have to stay inside. You cannot leave the front door until I get back from school. And he'll make from work, and he'll make it in such a way, you're here, you don't have your paper here yet, don't go out. And so Sally, let's call her Sally. Sally sits in the house. Remember, this is a mother with 2 children. And we know the London homes, the flats are tiny, there's no space. And considering the weather is so hot, but she's indoors, she's scared stiff if she comes out of that door. Because the first time she attempted, when he came, he said, did you open the door? And she said, yes, I just opened to watch and see what was outside. She had a punch on the face. I told you not to open the door. You don't want the people to know you're here. I will get into trouble. My landlord don't even know you're here. Don't open this door. So, of course, she never opened the door. He goes to work every day. He closed the door. She sits indoor. She doesn't move. She doesn't do anything. So it became a pattern now where she now began to lock the door, like literally bolt and everything. Because she doesn't want, when he comes, the door is open. Even though he locks the door and then goes, she now started bolting the door. So when he comes, he literally now has to knock, and she would let him in because she became so frightened. And that went on for a very long time, to a point where she was beginning to get ill. And she needed to go and see the doctor. She was missing appointments because if he's not around, she can't go anywhere.
So she had to
Whatever she
depend
wants to
on
do, they
him
both have to go
100%.
together. And she could not take the children to school because, again, if he goes, she cannot leave that home. So it went on for a long time and she became really paranoid. So you see the level of coercive control? She's been controlled in such a way that she began controlling herself. There were no physical sort of, except for the first time. And that went on for years until there was an intervention. So that is not a real story, but I just gave an example of how coercive control can put itself. I'll give you another one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'll flip it around. Now it's man, woman.
Okay.
So the woman goes to work. The husband doesn't work. So he's at home. He wakes up in the morning. He makes breakfast so she can have breakfast before she goes to work.
Mm-hmm.
She comes back. She looks around the house and she goes, well, why did you not wash the dishes? You know, I worked so hard. At least help me with the dishes. He started doing the dishes just to make things easier because he doesn't want, when she gets back from work, dishes are on the sink. Next time she comes, but I told you you're washing the dishes, but look at the bathroom, the state that we. So he took on. He said, "Oh, that's fine, because I'm at home. I haven't got a job. It's easy. I'll try and do this." And he'll clean the toilets. And then after a while, then she'll say, "Oh, I left some clothes on the bed. I was hoping you would fold these clothes because I washed them last night." And he would fold the clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So then you begin to ask yourself, is this a relationship? Or is this somebody who's brought someone to be their
Slave.
workman in the house?
Slave in the house, yeah.
And in a way, he starts to feel emasculated. He doesn't feel like he
He's
has
a
a
man.
role anymore. His role has become that of somebody who's just in that home to carry out the duties of cleaning, cooking, washing, and taking care of the home. So he loses his self-worth, he loses his self-esteem, and he began to get angry. And one day, without any provocation, at night while she was sleeping, he tries to, turn her upside down. And so she did not realize, where did this come from? And obviously he said, well, I've been holding on this for a very long time and I've had enough. And he literally flipped. So again, coercive control can manifest itself in a way where you could make somebody do things where you could hurt them, right? So that's why now, in the past, people did not understand. A lot of advocates like myself and other people that are working in the Vogue space, we never used to understand the depth at which coercive control can happen. And now, if you topple that now, coercive control manifesting somebody who has had a traumatic childhood, has what I call undiagnosed mental illness, or has cultural beliefs that sort of reinforces this belief of patriarchy and misogyny, or dominance, what I call physical dominance in the home. Whatever he says, it's what goes. Whatever he wants, it's what goes. And therefore, you, the woman in that home, have no voice. You literally are silent. You cannot take any decision because faith will tell you have to listen to your husband. Culture will tell you have to listen to your husband. The society will tell you have to listen to your husband. Then who's listening to women? And then these women are having children, daughters in particular, and they are reinforcing this very what I call structure in their daughters. And then it's almost like a thing that for over 40 years, from when you look at the government, Mobutu Sese Seko had this dominance over women. Women were stopped from going to school. People were letting women get married at such a young age.
As young as 10.
What example are we passing on to our daughters?
Can you guys hear me?
It's almost like we're reinforcing what I call this I don't like to use the word, but it's the only one I can use because of social media and TikTok at that. The pick-me culture. That I can only survive through the man. I can't survive by myself. And our daughters are beginning to believe that is true.
Can you hear me?
Without the man, or without what I can get for a man, I cannot survive.
Can you hear me?
Which is not. Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay, cool.
You just went pause for a minute.
Yeah, because it keeps
So I hope I answered that question.
I wanna,
So yeah.
Auntie Ali, I want to tell you about us one, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I've just had my first experience of I've been in domestic violence, but this level, there are levels, but this level of manipulation, I've never ever met in my life. You know, when somebody is nice to you, that you feel like you're loved.
Yeah.
But actually, let me read what I wrote. Yeah, give me a second.
Sure.
Uh,
You're on pause, Angelique.
yeah, sorry, I had to get it. So let me read it. Let me read it to you guys. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let me read it to you guys. I had to write this. Yeah, I've taken my time for this, guys. Like, enough kindness to make you doubt yourself, enough love to make you stay, enough pain to slowly change who you are.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So
Manipulation can be anything. Manipulation is almost to a point where somebody can manipulate you, where you begin to think that your family don't like you, or your family are out to get you, or your friends are out to destroy you, or even
Auntie,
your children, especially those going into a relationship where they already have a child and go into a
Auntie,
relationship
they've
where
upped the
this
game.
person is not the father of that child.
That
They will manipulate the situation where
Hey,
you,
when you talk, no
Karen,
one can hear you.
can you not hear me?
When that lady's talking and you're trying to talk, no, we cannot hear you.
Oh, hold on. Oh,
So
sorry,
when you're
Auntie.
trying, yeah,
It's
we're not
me.
hearing
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but when she talks and you're trying to say 1 minute or 1 second or hold on a minute,
Oh, you can't.
we can't hear you trying to interject.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
but now we
Auntie.
can hear.
Auntie, you see the one that
Yes.
you're talking about? They've upped the game. Ladies, I want to introduce you to a book that a lot of abusers and manipulators are using. Have you guys heard the book that's called The Art of Seduction?
Oh yeah, the Andrew Tate kind of books. It reinforces
Listen,
misogyny.
our generation, the men, and I fear for the younger men, you see how Auntie said, the men, they would know, they would separate you. No, they've gone clever. They've upped the game. Let me read you the first book, what it says, yeah? Are you ready? Are you guys ready? The art of seduction relies on psychological influence rather than physical looks. Robert Greene's framework breaks this down into 9 distinct archetypes. For instance, the sirene uses overt sexuality and mystery. It goes in it. Seduction happens in 4 distance phrases: separation, leading the target astray, creating the precise intention, and moving in. Real world application of these principles manifests across different psychological profile. Listen, it says, it talks about the man becoming the seducer to seduce you. And you might think this man looks the type he has, but they will come in a form and they will talk and they will manipulate you. Listen, I do awareness of domestic violence, mental health, of abuse. And let me tell you, this guy had me on a hook. He had everybody around me on a hook. That even when I spoke out, I was looking like the bad person. Girls, I warn you, just because your male friend comes to you and speak to you about, this girl likes me and all of that, and you think, oh, he's my friend, he's nice to me, I don't know. A lot of your male friends are manipulator. This book, is literally teaching individual on how to use your mind in able to make the person do what you want them to do. And that is very difficult when it comes to an individual reporting a crime, because they'll be like, but you did that yourself. And they target its vulnerable people, people who have come from child abuse, people who have been previously in domestic violence, people who have been outcast, people who have been rejected. These are the people who they are targeting. Girls, you are the target. You are the target. And afterward, they will blame you. And because you come from a vulnerable background, they will use your vulnerability to be like, this is what people talked about you. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a nice person. To you, there will be the monster that you see, the monster that you get to see. But to their friends and those people around you, they're the most perfect man. This book, I've been reading it. I remember even the guy he was actually angry at me for me reading it. He was like, it's an atheist that wrote this. An atheist wrote this book. No, we're talking about in general. And with this one, we're talking about coercive control. Because this is what is the one type of abuse that a lot of young ladies are not aware of, and a lot of young men, especially those that you see, they're using this in able to manipulate you, especially if you're a vulnerable person. It's called the art of seduction.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
With that, I think it is very, very hard to prove at the beginning.
That's the point.
And more time, a lot of the victims don't actually know they're in that coercive abuse until they're conditioned. And a lot of the time it comes from narcissism. And they just know how to do it. They're just good at it, aren't they?
100%.
So my thing is, how long does somebody have to go? How hard or easy is it to prove that? If because when I feel like when women go through domestic violence like that, they have to go to if their face isn't bust up and they haven't come there and then, they have to get so much evidence and proof just to prove that they've gone through all of this, and that alone could make the person think, you know what, why can't you just listen to what I'm saying to you? Do you understand? And that's all they want to be, is just heard.
But this is the thing, they target people who the world and the community, their family already rejected. They know who they target. But Karen, before you continue, let me let LK speak, because she came in before, and then we'll continue. LK?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi everybody. Hi Angelica. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. First of all, thank you so much for bringing this topic up. The minute I saw you publishing, I feel like I need to be here, because this is a very powerful platform that we can use to raise awareness. Because you'll be surprised of how many women, not just young women, even older women, who are still living in domestic abuse, normalizing, and also not being aware that they are actually living in domestic abuse, in domestic abusive environment. I'm just going to share a little bit about myself, because this is what you've just said, a lot of things that you've just said, and the lady, Auntie Ali, just said. I feel like you guys are just talking about my life. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I grew up in a family household where my father was, I'll say it the way it is. I'll just let's just name it. I was raised by an abusive, narcissistic father. Wow. Okay, so the way I am now, my adult life was preconditioned of the way I was brought up and how I saw things happening in my home. So I lived in an environment whereby my mom was abused verbally, physically, financially, you name it. And she never said a word. Okay? She never said it. Also, she was always the one to stay quiet and see. And we grew up in a household where there was fear. So the minute that comes into the house, everyone is literally, you freeze.
Everybody
Okay?
goes to freeze, run.
You just freeze. Okay? So there was that already, that tension is like you either fight, flight, or freeze. There was no even fight. So either you freeze or flight. There's no fighting. Who are you gonna fight with? Okay? So that already alone, so I grew up already with the fear of my father. I was so scared of that man. And you know, the more you are scared of a parent figure, that fear turns into hatred. Okay? I was the kind of a teenager that, because I saw how my mom was treated, that
Anger.
I grew up with a lot of resentment. I grew up with a lot of hatred. I grew up with a lot of fear. So I was even to come and ask my dad a simple question, I will shake. I have to repeat. I have to rehearse. I have to go into a rehearsal. I need to lock myself in my bedroom and start repeating, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to say, because you already have that fear. Now, when it came to time for me to start dating, it's only now, 17 years later, that when I look back at my life and how I grew up, then I'm realizing that this is what I've been good. This is the reason why I've always felt like there was something wrong with me. But no, nothing was wrong with me. I grew up with trauma, unresolved trauma that I was not aware about. Now, I saw the same pattern that I lived in my house, in my family house, repeating itself in my adult life. So I became this person. First, I was this person, let's call it a people pleaser. Why? Because I grew up being rejected. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel affection.
So you
And
seek
for me,
approval.
I'm a person that I like people, and I want people to like me. So I become a people pleaser. Whatever you say, I will do it because I just want to do it. I just want people to love me. I want people to like me. Okay. So when I met my my partner, I was only 18 years old. Okay. I was 18 years old. And the minute we started dating, I saw the same behavior that my father had. I saw that same behavior in him. Okay. But the question is, at that age, my brain is already preconditioned to accept and to normalize certain things. So for me, I did not see any red flag. For me,
Because you
the
were comfortable.
behavior,
You were comfortable.
yeah,
You
it
grew
was
up
familiar.
familiar.
Okay. The coercive control, the manipulation was familiar. You're not allowed to dress like this. You're not allowed to speak to that person. You're not allowed to go to your church. I don't want you to do ABC. I want you to do this. And yes, I was the yes, because I don't see any red flag there. Maybe it's for my own good. This is what I said to myself. Oh, he's doing it for my own benefit. Okay. So in later on in my adult life and during my marriage, I've been married for 12 years. And yes, 12 years with the same person. But as you just said now, you just did something really important. They give you so much, you
Love
just
bombing.
said something that they get you confused.
So basically,
Right? So the world, can you repeat that phrase again for me,
okay,
please?
let me read it for you. They give you enough kindness
Yes.
to make you doubt yourself,
That's it.
enough love to make you stay, enough pain to slowly change who you are.
Okay, I want you to stop there. So, this is so heavy. Sorry, but
It's
as
okay.
I'm speaking, it's extremely heavy. I'm feeling the weight in my heart, in my throat. It's so heavy, but we got to do this because we need to raise awareness. We need to help one or two women out there. In my situation, all that people outside, including my family, all they saw was, oh, he's kind. He's generous. He's so lovely. He takes you on holidays.
He's a role
He's
model.
hardworking.
He's the man that everybody
He's
desire.
the man that every woman would dream to have. Right? And what are you going to say? Already you have parents that you don't really have strong connection with because already the home that you came from was dysfunctional. Okay. So they see that, and because these people, they break relationships that you have with your family to better control you and to better manipulate you. If that person knows that you don't have a good relationship with your family, they will use that. Okay, they will use that to control and manipulate you and to isolate you. So the outsiders are seeing all of that. They're seeing houses, they're seeing careers, they're seeing a successful, stable relationship. Behind closed doors, you've been isolated. You're not allowed to be yourself. You are not. You have lost the real you. So they've designed you into the person that you are not to fit their purpose.
You know, let me just chime in. You know, the reason why they're the nicest person outside is to make people doubt when you come out and tell them about their true color.
Yes.
That's why they're so nice. That's why
100%.
And psychologically, I was reading this because you know me, I research. Auntie Ali, I've been going into psychology. You know how people say that you can notice someone's deception by their body language? You can't.
Yeah, you can.
They say sometimes you can, but sometimes you can't really.
Mask their character.
They know,
especially with charming.
they mastered in a way, and I fear Auntie Ali, the one I've met, I felt like I met Lucifer himself.
No, can't see worse than mine.
The level of charming, and I'm telling you, is worse because it's us girls who actually kill each other without even knowing. So, okay, the way you were saying that he was charming, that is a form to wrap up people,
yes, because
to be in their side.
Society puts on this responsibility on women, which is why, and I'm so sorry, LKD. Thank you for sharing. You can just say LK, Auntie. It's fine. LK, for what happened to you. And I'm hoping, obviously, this is what we would call peer-to-peer. And it's always like when you hear other people who experience similar or have similar experiences to you, it makes the bond of understanding our trauma a little bit more better. And this is why I always like to recommend, even if you've done it before, in our case, because the work we do is tailored specifically to women of color. Because when we look at our trauma, there is an origin, and often people don't know that. It has to be linked all the way back to childhood experiences, just as LK has said. Yes. If you grow up in a home where the abuse of your mother, the mother is like this rock in the family, and yet you witness her going through so much stress, so much pain and hurt, dehumanizing, demeaning, devalue, and you know nothing else, then it's almost impossible for you to then say, you know what, I ain't gonna be like my mother. It can't be.
But Auntie Ali, you know, our mothers, because I remember I had this conversation with my mum, right? I grew up in the same household, even though my mum and dad are still together, but my dad was very King Kong, I'm not gonna lie. One thing I realized is that our mothers thought true relationship, you have to suffer.
You have to endure.
You have to suffer and endure.
Well, it's generational trauma. It's like they regurgitate everything, even from childbirth. Back in the day, women were not encouraged to even take any painkiller, because the art of giving birth was seen as, oh, you are the strongest, black woman strong. That's why I don't like using that word. we are not strong. We are vulnerable. And in some cases, I campaign to end harmful practices like FGM in Sierra Leone. In Sierra Leone, can you believe mothers would believe taking a blade to the genitals of their daughter to make them wife material so that they won't enjoy the pleasure of sex outside of their marriage.
I've
But
seen
there's
it.
no conversation happening with men. And then you go to Cameroon, where they're breast ironing, flattening the chest of their girls so they don't look voluptuous. Having boobs is natural. Looking voluptuous is natural. So society has embedded and almost like brainwash our women into believing that they are the problem. So when they have daughters, all you hear mothers say, don't go wear, put your luputa. If you don't wear luputa, you wear trousers, you're a woman of the street. Or you have to look a certain way, you have to be demure, you have to do that, you have to da da, you have to da da da. To a point where we begin to police ourselves. And women can walk into a poisonous snake, grab the snake and say, kiss me here. They wouldn't know that it's a snake. Because society...
Auntie, sorry, can I
Yes.
interrupt you there for a
Yes,
second?
sure.
I just want to thank you.
No,
Sorry.
no.
I wanted to say something. What you said about our mothers is true. But also, I mean, my own personal experience, there are certain things that I found myself doing without being told by my mother that this is how you need to do. It's like a precondition. I'll give you an example.
It's basic.
when I
There's a name for that, by the way.
yeah. So, say for example, for me, at 18 years, a lot of young people these days, when I see them, they're 18, they're living there, they're doing, me at 18, when I started dating, in my mind already, I knew that when I go to my boyfriend's house, I need to clean, I cook, I iron his clothes. So, I was already playing the role of being a wife. Why you face? Yeah, do you know? But my mother
We
never
have
told me
suffered.
that this is what you need to do. So me, I'll leave college. I'll go to this man's house. I'll cook. I'll clean because for me it was like I was proud of it. I was like, yeah,
You
I'm
were
a
not
wife
taught
material.
boundaries. We were not taught
Yes.
boundaries.
So when we say mother, it's not always like our biological mother. Mother is society.
Okay.
It's what society has taught you, because that's everything around you. You may have